Spring is a magical time of transformation as growth gathers pace and the true character of the garden takes shape. It's exciting, it's beautiful, and it's what us gardeners live for. There's something for everyone this month, with lots to sow, plant and tend to as we work towards the first wonderful harvests of the new season. Let's get to it. Comfrey is one of the most useful flowering plants in the vegetable garden. Not only do its flowers attract pollinating insects such as bumblebees, you can also use it to create your own natural liquid fertilizer, perfect for splashing around fruiting vegetables like tomatoes and cucumbers. Plant a new clump of comfrey or add to an existing one. And you're looking for a variety called Bocking 14, which is a lot less unruly than other types, making it perfect for the garden. Set your plants about 2 feet or 60 centimeters apart, or as I'm going to do here, I'm going to add to my existing comfrey patch by simply lifting and dividing what I've already got. With it dug out, I now need to find a natural division point and just ease apart some segments like this. There we go, I can get 2 out of this clump here. Now my intention is to replant these, so I've got some comfrey all around me, behind me here, in front here and a bit here. And my idea is to plant one here and one there to kind of connect this up so it becomes a really chunky comfrey plant, so I've got lots to harvest. So let's get these chaps sit back in the ground and growing away. Now in the first year of planting, it's worth, if you can bear it, removing the flower buds just to concentrate the plant's energy onto establishing that kind of leafy clump. And I will go easy on harvesting leaves on the first year as well, just to give them more energy to finish bulking out. But from next year, we'll be good to go. Now is the ideal time to plant main crop or late season potatoes. You can catch up with everything potato related in our recent Potato Growing Masterclass. And I planted this tub up here in that video, and you can see the shoots are just beginning to push through, which is incredibly exciting. Now these are early season or first early potatoes, and I've started them off in the protection of a greenhouse. It's a great way to get a bit of a head start, and growing in containers means anyone can grow them no matter the space. Never mind all that though, because my main crop potatoes are going in this bed here, which I've already got nicely prepared with fresh lashings of compost. You can see that the seed potatoes have got really strong shoots on them, so we know these are going to be off to a really good start. Now I'm going to plant each seed potato individually into holes at least 6 to 8 inches or 15 to 20 centimeters deep. That's a good depth, and that means there'll be more space for the tubers to develop into. If I plant them shallow, then there's a danger they may come to the surface, turn green, and that'll render the tuber kind of inedible. So get them nice and deep, and I'm aiming for a spacing for these main crop or late season spuds of around, well, 45 centimeters or 18 inches between them to give them plenty of space. Now as they grow, I will earth up or hill up the soil around the stems to kind of create more volume of soil, and if necessary I will add more organic mulch just to keep the soil nice and covered, nice and moist, and to keep our tubers nice and protected. Warm season crops like tomatoes, peppers, climbing beans and squashes should be gradually acclimatizing to outdoor conditions before planting. Suddenly moving your plants from a warm, cosseted environment to the wind and chill of outdoors risks shocking plants and setting them back, which makes this slow and steady transfer process, called hardening off, so important. Start 10 to 14 days before you plan to plant and once temperatures are warm enough for you to do so. Now bring them out on a nice kind of calm, sunnyish day, and then gradually increase the time that they are spent outside before bringing them in at night. Now initially I'll leave them here in this fairly sheltered corner for maybe 3 or 4 hours or so, and then extend the time gradually over that time frame. Now something like a cold frame is really useful for this. It shields the plants from the wind and you can gradually raise the lid over time to acclimatise your plants. If you can, set plants into their final positions when calmer, warmer weather is forecast for the next few days. I sometimes cover recent transplants with a fleecy row cover for a week or two to help them transition. One thing I'm not yet growing is citrus, something I hope to put right very soon. But if you're lucky enough to have citrus like lemons, kumquats or limes, you may start to notice fresh new growth as spring progresses. As soon as you do, it's time to start feeding to support all of that development. Use a purpose-sold organic citrus feed that's suitable for summer. Summer feeds have nitrogen that supports leafy growth, as well as trace elements to encourage those precious flowers and fruits. Keep plants well watered as temperatures start to pick up, and move plants onto a larger container if the roots are congested. Many of us are experiencing hotter, drier summers, or at least more erratic weather patterns. Either way, it pays to harvest more of the wet stuff. Plants prefer rainwater over mains water, so why not add a barrel or simply add to an existing rainwater harvesting setup? Set barrels in place now before it gets too hot. Make sure you raise your barrel up so you can get a watering can in underneath. The barrel needs to be on a firm, level surface and, of course, fed from guttering. And in most cases, a downpipe or downspout to channel the water into the barrel. Keep it covered to stop leaves and too many bugs getting in, and you're good to go. Most peas grow best with some form of support. Just like beans, climbing peas will need some kind of bamboo cane frame, netting or a teepee style arrangement to keep them supported. Now my peas here may not be climbing types, but they will still grow to a couple of feet tall, so they will appreciate some support. I like to use twiggy pea sticks like this. These are just offcuts from hazel, and I just push them in next to my plants. Now of course you could do this at planting time, might be easier. These guys were planted last week, and this will help to not only keep everything nice and tidy, by lifting them up off the ground, it'll stop the slugs from getting at them, and it'll make the best use of space, and you'll be able to see the pea pods a little bit easier when it comes to picking time. If you haven't started off your peas yet, by the way, well, there's still plenty of time to do that. You can either sow them direct against your supports already put into position, or start them off in plug trays first to keep them away from mice, to stop them sniffing out and then eating the pea seeds before they've had a chance to germinate. I also find that by starting them off inside, I can put them into a sealed box, which adds an extra layer of protection. That also creates a nice little moist and cozy microclimate for the seedlings. And then they get planted out a couple of weeks later. I started these fava beans or broad beans last month, and now I've got these beautiful stocky seedlings. Now, if you haven't started yours already, then just like peas, there's still time to do so. I find that starting them off away from growing areas not only enables an early start, but of course avoids any risk of those mice once again. I've just noticed on this one here, there's a tiny little ladybird or ladybug there. Pest prevention ready to go. Now I'm going to set these guys, well, apart as they are here. If I was growing individual plants, these are in clusters of 2 or 3, then I would set them maybe 9 inches or 23 centimeters apart each way. I'm going a bit further than this because they've been sown in as little clusters like that. But I reckon this spacing here should be about right. And it's nice and warm now. These are nice and stocky, so I'm not going to cover them or anything like that. But what I will do is add some supports for them because they will grow a bit taller, but they won't need them yet, and I'll show you how to do that next month. I probably could have used a trowel, but there's something very satisfying about getting your fingers in the dirt, and I know it's good for you as well. Now, fava or broad beans grow really well in containers as well, but do pick a dwarf variety to keep things manageable. I've been keeping a beady eye on the temperature. It's surprising how warm it can get in here on a sunny day. We're at 69 0.8 Fahrenheit, which is over 20 Celsius. That's pretty warm for this time of year, here at least. Now, to facilitate things, I'm keeping the door and windows open to get a good through flow of air so it doesn't get too warm. On a really sunny day, well, the sun has a bit of strength to it now. Most seedlings and young plants are completely happy with that, but recent transplants, or ones that have been pricked out recently, may start to struggle if it's really warm. The simplest solution is to cast a little bit of shade on a sunny day. Now, Rosie, come on darling, you're right in the way, I just need this. Good girl, you can have it back in a minute. Now, the simplest solution is to float something over it to cast some shade. Just a little bit of fleecy row cover would do the trick, just in the hottest time of the day, or you could even just float a sheet of newspaper over the top. Another solution is to simply move delicate seedlings underneath the bench during this warm time of day where they'll get a bit of shade and then bring it back up before night falls. And of course, don't forget that seedlings will need more water in warmer conditions. So just check regularly and keep things nice and quenched. Check recently sown rows too. If they are looking a little bit overcrowded, then remove some of the excess seedlings to allow the remainder to grow on so they have enough room. Now, the gardening term for this is thinning out, and it's simply a matter of checking the spacing requirements and then thinning accordingly. I like to thin in 2 stages. The first thinning just to give the little seedlings a bit more space to grow on for another week or 2, and then the second thinning to their final positions. This acts a bit like an insurance policy in case any of the seedlings die in between thinnings. Now, don't waste the thinnings. Many of them can be eaten and will form the first fresh pickings of spring, but do just check you can indeed eat them before adding them to your salads or whatever. Mid-spring is the ideal time to be sowing frost-sensitive or half-hardy annuals. Now, I've already started some off. These are my sweet alyssum and French marigolds here. They're almost coming into flower, but I need to be sowing some more. And I've got 2 things I'm going to sow now, some beautiful cosmos and some zingy zinnia. Both of these are really attractive to pollinating insects and pest predators, so they are well worth growing in the vegetable garden, where they will also add a little splash of colour. Now, I'm just going to sow them over the surface and then lightly cover them over, starting with our cosmos here. They've got these lovely kind of like spear-like seeds, which are nice and easy to sow. And then our zinnias. Just scatter these over the surface. They're a little bit chunkier. And then lightly cover both pots over with a touch, just a touch of sieved or screened potting mix. These will grow best in the warm, or germinate best in the warm. So after watering them, I'm just going to take them inside to a sunny windowsill to germinate. And once they have, they'll come back out here to grow on, and I will transfer them into their own plugs. Now, if you don't have a greenhouse, don't worry, you don't need one. You could bring them out into a cold frame or just a sunny, sheltered spot, bring them in at night to keep them out of the chill. Then once they've been hardened off and it's safe to do so, I will plant them into the vegetable garden, where they will lend their cheer and spread their inimitable joy. Comment below to share what you're up to this month, and if you haven't seen it yet, check out our latest sowing video. Right, I'm off to do a spot of weeding. I'll catch you next time.